Hello and welcome to you all in this fourth session on the architecture series. And in this session, we are going to learn about one of the most powerful architecture, that is MVVM C+A. Before starting this particular session, I would like to discuss one very important thing with all of you. So in few of the recent feedback, I got the request that I must be starting my videos directly from the coding part instead of the concept first. So for that particular thing, I would like to give you two very important points. Number one, I have seen lots of talented developers who know exactly what need to write in the form of code, but when you ask them why they are writing that particular thing, then they are unable to answer. And vice versa condition is also possible. So a good developer is who is having the understanding of concept also and good at the implementation also. So we always look for an optimal combination of these two properties whenever looking for a good developer. And second point is, when you get stuck into a complex situation in your project, when you need to take the decision, right, that whether you should write this particular code in that particular class or not, what kind of structure you need to maintain when a new requirement is coming in, every time it is not possible that someone is around you to guide. In that particular situation, what is going to help you? The only thing that can help you in that particular situation, this is conceptual understanding of rules and the principle. On the basis of that only you need to take the decisions. So for that, conceptual understanding is very important, right? So always pay attention to these two particular things. First, understand the concept and then try to implement it. In that way, you will become a very good developer. So I hope now you understand the thought process and methodology behind our sessions. And this is the outline that we will cover in this particular session. Like always, we will start our session with the conceptual understanding and then we will jump into coding sample. So without wasting time, let's start MVVM C+A. So in our last session on MVVM, we discussed few of the problems. In this session, we are not going to repeat them, but if you want to have a reference, then you can go to the third session of the architecture series, that is on MVVM. We will keep our focus only on the implementation and the understanding of MVVM C+A, and we will try to learn that how MVVM C+A is one of the very tremendous architecture that solves multiple problems for us. This is basically control flow and the ownership diagram for the MVVM C+A architecture. For now, you need not to be overwhelmed with the complexity of this particular diagram. The only thing you need to be focused on to understand how control or the data is flowing in MVVM C+A architecture. Later on, we will discuss each and every component individually also. And the reason why we are doing this particular exercise is, once you understand the component and that what exact responsibility they are performing in the MVVM C+A architecture, then it will become very much easy for you to implement this particular structure in your projects. So whenever user take any action on view or the view controller, then this action basically reaches to the view model. And we all know view model is the place where we used to write all the business logic processing. The one difference that we are introducing in MVVM C+A against the plain MVVM architecture is the layer repository. So the repository is the layer that is responsible to make all the database and the network calls on behalf of the view model. So previously, if you remember, most of the time we used to write that database or the network calls code into our view model. But as a refinement in MVVM C+A architecture, we are writing those calls into the repository layer. So the responsibility of repository layer is just to make database and the network calls. So whenever view model need to make any request to database or the network against the action taken by the user, then view model shift this responsibility to repository layer. And repository is the place that basically communicates to database and the network manager objects. And whenever repository receives the data back from the database or from the network, then this is getting observed by the view model. Either you can use RxSwift for this purpose, or you can use delegate, or you can use closure also. And once this data get received into view model, this basically reaches to the view controller with the help of either observer pattern or with the help of closure or with the help of delegates, same pattern, right? Now you have understood the mechanism of this particular part in MVVM C+A architecture. Now there are two main members of MVVM C plus A architecture. One is coordinator and second is assembler. So the responsibility of coordinator is basically to maintain the complete navigation flow of your application. This basically works exactly like the navigation stack into your application. So previously, if you remember, if in our application we are having a very complex hierarchy of the navigation, that means suppose we are having a view controller A that is pushing view controller B, and in view controller B we are pushing view controller C, then try to think where we used to write this particular code in MVVM architecture. So answer is in the view controller. So can you feel any demerit in this particular approach? So there is one problem in this. The problem is each and every view controller is aware with the another view controller that it is currently pushing for the navigation stack. So in that way, each and every view controller get tightly coupled with each other. So if it's a very complex application in terms of the navigation, then this tightly coupled chain become very much complex in your application, and each and every view controller is knowing its place in the application basically. So to avoid that kind of tight coupling and to reduce one responsibility of navigation from the view controller, we are introducing a new layer, coordinator, in MVVM C+A architecture. So the responsibility of coordinator is basically manage the navigation flow of your application. Now pay attention to this router part also. So this navigation responsibility is getting completed with the help of router. So coordinator is the thing who is controlling the, or you can see managing the navigation flow of your application, and router is the place that is responsible for doing the actual navigation in your application. So whenever any navigation needed to be performed in MVVM C+A architecture, your view controller basically notifying to the dedicated coordinator. So for every view controller or for every screen, you would be having a dedicated coordinator in MVVM C+A architecture, and this notification you can implement with the help of delegate, with the help of closer, or with the help of observers also. So whenever suppose a view controller A need to perform navigation to view controller B, then view controller A will ask dedicated coordinator to push view controller B into the navigation stack. And how coordinator will perform this? Coordinator will basically perform this with the help of router. So router is the place that will perform actual navigation. So now you are aware with the responsibility of coordinator and the router also. Now comes to this particular item, that is assembler or factory. Assembler or factory is nothing. It's basically, you can say, the dependency supplier in your application in MVVM C+A architecture. So if we talk in terms of the dependencies in MVVM architecture, so view controller is having dependency of view model. View model is having dependency of network and the database manager. But here view model is having dependency of repository. So repository is the dependency of view model. View model is the dependency of view controller, and database manager and the network manager classes object are dependency of repository layer, right? So this is basically the dependency item that we need to manage in MVVM C+A architecture. And for that we have introduced one more new layer, that is assembler or factory. So the overall role of assembler or factory is to provide a centralized place to supply all the dependencies in MVVM C+A architecture. So if you look into the control flow, assembler or the factory basically create the object of view controller and inject view model object into view controller and supply this particular package to coordinator, and coordinator asks router to perform navigation. So ultimately with the help of this assembler and factory, we would be having a completely injected package that is basically using the dependency injection pattern here, where we are supplying view model injected view controller to coordinator and coordinator asking router to perform the navigation. So this is the place through which we are managing dependency in MVVM C+A architecture. Now you are clear with the flow that how navigation or the control or the data is flowing in MVVM C++ architecture. As a next part, we will be discussing very quickly all the components individually, and then we will map them into the coding components. Let's take a very quick review of the individual components of MVVM C++ architecture, and immediately after this we map these architectural components into coding solutions. So model, you already know, these are basically the data objects in your application and they are dumb in nature. That means they don't have any logical code written inside them. View or the view controller are always dedicated to have all UI related logic only. View model is brain of your application and that performs all the business logic processing. And repository is the place which is responsible to make network and the database calls. And data store and API are the protocols, or you can say implemented in the form of protocols, so that underlying code can be changed anytime very easily, and this should not be impacted all the places in your application where we are using those database or the network classes objects. Assembler is the place that is responsible to supply all the dependencies into your application, and coordinator and the router are the two items that are basically handling the navigation responsibility in your application. So coordinator is only managing the navigation flow and directing the router, and router is the item that performs actual navigation. So here you complete the conceptual understanding of MVVM C++ architecture. And now it's time to understand what are the files and the classes involved in the implementation of this particular sample. So the very first file in our sample is coordinator.swift. So this file basically contains the coordinator protocol, and which ultimately contains all the child coordinators, router, present, and the dismiss method signature. So this is the protocol that each and every coordinator in your application will implement. Next is the router.swift. Again, this is the router protocol, and this basically defines the signature for the present and the dismiss methods, and all the routers in your application will implement this particular protocol. Next is the home factory.swift. This basically contains the home view factory protocol, and this contains all the method signature that are responsible to create the required object for your home view screen. For example, if you need home view controller object, if you need home view model, if you need home coordinator object, then this protocol will supply the blueprint to your complete implementation of the home view factory. For now, we are assuming that in our application we are not having so many screens, so for understanding purpose we are taking example only for the home view screen. Next file is the home view repository protocol. Home view repository protocol is the blueprint to represent the, or you can say to implement the repository pattern in your application that we have already discussed. So this, whenever you create the concrete repository or the repository class with the implementation of this home view repository protocol, then you will be having all the required methods that will be coming out from the home view repository protocol. Next class is dependency assembler.swift. So this is basically our assembler class that is the centralized place from where we will be supplying all the dependencies for a particular logical journey in the project. What we mean here from the logical journey in the project is, we can understand this with the help of an example. Suppose we are at the login screen, then we can have the forgot password button also, we can have the remember me button also, and we can have the social login buttons also. So all these functionality basically combines to become a single logical journey in your project. So if you want to manage all the dependencies for single logical journey in your project, you can have a dedicated dependency assembler in your project, and according to your application you can have different dependency assembler for a particular logical journey, or depending on the size you can have the single dependency assembler also. And next class is AppDelegate router.swift. So this is basically the concrete router class implement that implement the router protocol, but it is having the single responsibility to start the application flow, and that basically governs from the app delegate or the scene delegate. So this is our first router, concrete router that implements the router protocol. Next router is the navigation router. So this is the main router of our MVVM C++ implementation that is dedicated to perform actual navigation in your application, and this basically implements the router protocol. So whatever method we are implementing in the router protocol, that will be available to this particular class because it is following or adopting this particular protocol to implement concrete router. Next class is the home repository.swift. So this is basically the repository for the home screen, and this will follow home view repository protocol, and the only responsibility for this repository is to perform database and the network communication from the view model for the home screen only. So these are the classes that we are going to implement for MVVM C++ architecture in our sample. So this kind of mapping will basically help you to understand, or you can say to make your implementation easy in the form of the coding solution. So that was the overall objective for this particular screen. Now let's jump into the actual coding, and time to open your Xcode now. As a sample application, we are going to make a weather forecast app that is going to provide you the weather for next of the few hours. And on the home screen, we are having a next button. On clicking of that, you are moving to the second screen, and on clicking on the back button, you are moving to the home screen again. So for the understanding purpose, we are keeping the complexity of our sample application as less as possible, because in terms of the implementation, if you compare MVVM C++ architecture to other architectures like MVVM, MVI or MVC, this is little bit typical. So to keep your understanding focused, we are taking a very simple example for the implementation purpose. The very first protocol that we are going to implement in our sample is coordinator protocol. And this is the protocol that is basically being followed by each and every coordinator in your application. And now we will discuss the component of this particular protocol. So the very first component is children property. And this property is basically used to hold all the child coordinator under a parent coordinator. So a coordinator can be dedicated to a particular screen also, and a coordinator can be dedicated to a particular logical journey also. That thing we have already discussed while discussing the flow of MVVM C architecture. Second property is the router, because every coordinator must be having an associated router also that perform actual navigation. So this property is working for that. There are three other methods: present, dismiss, and the present child. So present child is basically the method through which one coordinator communicates with another coordinator with the help of these three parameters, where child is the coordinator that is getting pushed into the navigation hierarchy as a next, or alternatively you can say that what is the next screen that is getting pushed into the navigation hierarchy. Animated tells whether you want to do it animated way or in a non-animated way. On dismiss closer basically tells that after performing this particular dismissal of this particular coordinator or the screen from the navigation hierarchy, if you want to take any action, then you can perform in this particular closure. Present child method basically internally calls the present method for a particular coordinator, and this is the method. If a coordinator implements it, it generates the actual UI screen object and push into the navigation hierarchy with the help of the router. So present child basically internally calls the present, and dismiss is the method that is used to dismiss a particular screen from the navigation hierarchy. So these are the methods that are mainly used in the coordinator protocol, and we have also provided the default implementation for two methods in the extension of the same protocol. Those are dismiss and the present child. So in the present child, you can see that whenever a new coordinator is getting pushed into the navigation hierarchy, or we are trying to present a particular screen, then this child coordinator is getting appended into the children property that we have already discussed. And internally it is calling the present method for the router that present, sorry, not the router, that for the coordinator. So this is internally calling the present method of the coordinator that is getting pushed into the navigation hierarchy. And on the dismissal, if you want to perform any action, then you can perform with the help of this particular closure that we are sending. So this is basically calling the present method with the help of implementation of this particular protocol method, and this will basically present the actual screen into the navigation hierarchy. So I am scrolling the screen in terms of the sections. So if you want to do the code along, you can pause the screen and you can do the coding also together with the demonstration of the classes. So this was the overall implementation of the coordinator protocol, and next thing we will discuss is router protocol. Second protocol in our application is router protocol, and that is the protocol that is basically being followed by every router in your application. First two methods are the present methods that are dedicated to present a particular view controller in the navigation hierarchy, and the only difference between these two methods are one is taking the on dismissed parameter and another one is not having that. So if you want to perform any action after presenting a screen into navigation hierarchy, then you can send a closer into this particular parameter, and dismiss is the method that is used to dismiss an entire router, or you can say to dismiss a particular screen from the navigation hierarchy. Set root view controller is the method that is being used to set the root view controller for a particular router. Suppose you are having a navigation hierarchy in which you are pushing multiple view controllers, and at the time of dismissal you want to jump into a particular root view screen, then at that time you need to set the root view controller for that particular navigation hierarchy into the router object, and this is the default implementation for the present method for this particular protocol. So this is the router protocol that is being used for creating each and every concrete router in our application. In our application, home view factory and the next view factory are the two factory protocols that we are having to generate the objects for home view model, home view controller and home view coordinator. We are using factory pattern here, and we are having three methods in it for the home view factory. One is make home view model, second is make home view controller, and third is make home coordinator. Similarly, for the next screen, we are having the factory protocol that is again having the three methods: one to generate next view model, second to generate next view controller, and third is to generate the next view coordinator. And these are the dependencies that we are receiving in the form of parameters in these factory methods. Dependency assembler is the class that is basically used to supply all the dependencies in your application from a centralized place, and its objective is just to improve the testability of your application. We have implemented this particular class as the singleton, and it is having currently four properties in our application. One is network manager, second is database manager, and these are basically the type of network manager protocol and the database manager protocol. Other two properties are home view repository and the next view repository, and they are implemented in the form of lazy variable. The reason behind declaring them as lazy, because we want to initialize them only when they are needed, because they are a little bit expensive in terms of the memory. So we just want to initialize them whenever they are first accessed or whenever they are needed. And as we have already discussed, that repository is the layer that is responsible for the network and the database communication. So that's why it is having two dependencies, that is the network manager and the database manager objects. Same we are doing for the next screen, that is next view repository, and that is also taking the two objects of the network manager and the database manager. And now comes the important part. So in this assembler, because we are assembling all the dependencies for the screens in our application, so we are following that home view factory protocol that we just discussed before this particular assembler part. So it is following that home view factory protocol and providing the complete implementation of this particular protocol, that is make home view model, make home coordinator and make home view controller. So these are the concrete implementation of this particular protocol inside the dependency assembler. So you can see that make home view model is basically supplying the home view model object by having the home view repository as the dependency, and returning the view model. And make home coordinator is basically returning the home view coordinator object by having the two parameters, router and the factory. And factory is basically the home view factory that is containing the implementation of this particular protocol, and it is returning the coordinator. And make home view controller is instantiating the object of home view controller from the UI storyboard and setting the delegate as the coordinator. Why we are doing this particular thing? Because suppose you want to perform any navigation into your home view screen, then your home view controller is not going to communicate with another view controller. What it is going to do is it will tell its dedicated coordinator to perform the navigation, and how it will communicate it with the help of delegate structure. So that's why we are setting the delegate as the coordinator here. And now with the help of make home view model method, we are getting the home view model object and setting view model as the dependency in our view controller. Sorry for this repetition, I am removing it from here. And now from this particular method, we are getting view controller object as a complete package containing all the dependencies in it. And later on we will see how we are using this particular method in our code for performing a particular navigation. Next is the same thing for the next view factory. And now our dependency assembler is adopting the next view factory protocol, and it is doing the same thing as we have done for the home view screen. Now at this particular point you would be thinking that if we are doing for each and every screen in our dependency assembler, then dependency assembler will become ultimately a very huge class. So for the solution of that particular thing, what you can do is you can create a logical separation between all the dependency assemblers in terms of the logical section of your application. For example, for a particular logical section like home screen, you can create a dedicated dependency assembler. For another part, you can create another dependency assembler. In that way, you would be able to separate your dependency assembler into multiple sections or multiple part. Or you can do one more thing, you can use the extension also. So whatever suits according to your need, you can divide your dependency assembler according to that. There are other ways also in which you can use multiple third-party libraries also, but for the understanding purpose or for the simplicity of the implementation, we are just keeping our own dependency assembler in our application. And as MVVM C+A having a very important part as assembler also, that is dedicated to improve the testability of your application. So that's why we are keeping all the dependencies centralized into a single place in the form of dependency assembler. So now I will scroll this screen section wise so that you can implement this particular code easily by pausing the screen. Home view repository protocol and next view repository protocol are the two protocols that our repository will follow in our sample app. So these protocols are quite self-explanatory, so I am not jumping into the detail of that. You can see the implementation and code along with it. And in the next view repository protocol, as we are not making any, you can say, database communication and neither any network communication, so we are not having any method related to that. So this is very simple. And next, now we are moving to the very important part of our app, that is the router. And in our application we are having basically two routers. One is the app delegate router that is responsible to start the application flow, and second is the navigation router that is responsible to perform each and every navigation in your application. So first we will discuss app delegate router. In the app delegate router, we are having a property that is window, that is the main window of your application. We are having an initializer that is taking the window. It is following the router protocol. So we are having the implementation of present method also. We are creating here a UI navigation controller object with the help of this root view controller that is getting received from this particular parameter. we are making root view controller to this navigation controller, and we are making this window as a key window and making it visible also. So by after setting the root view controller of this window, we are making it key and the visible, and we are not doing any implementation of dismiss method here because this is the main router of your application and it is not subjected to be dismissed because it is containing the window of your application. So we are not giving any implementation to this particular dismiss, right? And next is the navigation router. Navigation router is little bit trickier in terms of the implementation, so you have to pay more attention here. The very first property we are having in navigation router is navigation controller, and this property is basically holding the navigation controller of your app. And in the router root view controller we are having is that is the root view controller for that particular router. And on dismiss for view controller is basically array of dictionary that is having the dismissal closure against every view controller that is getting dismissed with the help of this particular router. So for every view controller you are having a dismissal closure that is getting maintained into this particular array. In the initializer of this particular navigation router, we are having the UI navigation controller type object, and with the help of this particular parameter we are setting the root controller of that router also, where the first view controller of the navigation router will become the root controller of the router. And why we are doing it, whenever we are performing the dismissal on a particular router, then we need to you can say navigate back up to the root view controller from where that navigation flow is started. For example, there is a screen A, then B, then C, then D, and D is performing the dismissal with the help of the router, then it will jump back to the A directly because A is the root view controller for that particular router. Next very important thing is we have implemented UI navigation controller delegate. So why we have implemented it? With the help of this particular delegate, we are trying to know that whenever user is pressing the back button into the navigation hierarchy on a particular view controller, so whenever user is pressing the back button on a particular view controller, then this delegate will automatically fire, and at that time we will perform this perform on dismiss method. And what this method is doing, this method is basically checking that whether any dismissal closure is associated with my view controller, then I need to perform that. And after that what I need to do is I need to clear that reference also in my on dismiss for view controller array, where I am maintaining that closure against each and every view controller that is getting dismissed. So I am setting it nil also because I am already performed that dismissal closure. So I am performing this closure and I am setting this nil also in that array. And now comes to the implementation of the router protocol. So in the present method, what we are doing is we are first registering the dismissal closure against the view controller in the array that we have already discussed, in which we are maintaining the dismissal closure against the every view controller. So this view controller is becoming the reference point for this dismissal closure, and as we have called the present method, so we are pushing that view controller also into the navigation controller. So these are the two things that we are performing in the present method. And in the dismiss what we are doing is we are checking that whether our router is having any root view controller or not. If it is not having any root view controller, then we are popping our navigation hierarchy up to root view controller of the navigation controller that we have already discussed how we set it. And if the router is having the root view controller, then we need to perform on dismiss method. And what we need to do, we need to pop to view controller, that is the root view controller of that particular router, and animated tells whether you want to do it animated or not. So this is the implementation of dismiss. And in the set root view controller, these are the method basically used to set the view controller of any particular router. So if anytime you want to change the root view controller of router, then you can use this particular method. So this was the implementation of the navigation router. I am scrolling it again from top to bottom. so that you can see that how it is implemented, and give it a few seconds to understand and to code along it. For next of the few classes, we will not be spending very much time on the description of that because they are simple the model classes. So I will just show you the implementation and will pause the screen for a second. If you want, you can pause the video and you can code along the same models. So this is the weather cell model, that is our business model, and that is used to display the data to the user. And there are three data models that I have created in accordance of the response of the weather API. And we are following here decodable protocol to convert the JSON response into our data models. This is the final weather response model. So with the help of these three data models, we are implemented our data model classes. Now the next very important thing is implementation of our home view controller. So the first thing we are having here is home view controller delegate. So as we have already discussed that whenever you need to perform any navigation on your view controller in your screen, then in MVVM C++ architecture, view controller directly don't push any view controller. It basically communicates to its coordinator. And how it communicates to its coordinator? With the help of this delegate, navigate to next screen. And if you remember, we set this delegate property of this home view controller in our assembler class as the coordinator of home view controller, that is home view coordinator. So whenever you call this navigate to next screen method to your coordinator, then this delegate will take care of it. We will discuss this flow later also, but for now this is sufficient. We are having a table view, we are having a next button, we are having the view model property, we are having the delegate here. And in the view load, in view did load, we are setting up the UI. In the setting up UI, what we are doing is we are doing very basic things. We are setting up the properties of the table view, we are setting the title, and we are registering the nib of our weather table view cell. And after that, the important part is when our control reaches to the line number 37. This is basically calling the get current location method from my view model. And when I receive the location of the user, I am calling the API in my view model, and in view model, when I receiving the data successfully, I am reloading the table view here. And if I am getting any error, then I'm hiding the indicator. If you want, you can show any alert here also. This is the implementation of the getting location of the user and calling the dedicated API. After that, and next button pressed is the IB action, that is basically telling the coordinator to perform the navigation. How it is happening, we will see in the implementation of home view coordinator. So this is the implementation, and these are the delegates of the table view that we have implemented. If you want, you can quickly have a check on that. Okay, now we will jump into the home view model. So the first thing that you see in the home view model is we are having the view model protocol. What this protocol is doing, this is just providing a create data source method. So whenever you receive the data from the API, then you need to convert that data into your business models. So that part is performed with the help of create data source method. So data source is the property, that is array of weather cell model that we have already discussed. This is our business model. Weather response is the weather response model type, that is also we have already discussed. Dispose back, because we are using RX Swift here for the data binding purpose, so we have created a dispose back here to dispose all the subscription. Home repository, you already know that whatever database or the network communication we need to perform, we will perform with the help of this particular repository. And the initializer of this particular view model is taking the object of home view repository protocol, right? So this all thing, or you can say this dependency thing, is getting managed from the assembler, you already discussed. And now next thing is line number 27, that is get current location method of this particular view model. It is having two parameters as the success and the failure block, and we are having a location manager class that is implemented in the form of singleton, and we are having a start updating location method through which we are receiving the location object, that is the property of this particular location manager. I will show you the implementation of location manager also, but for now you just need to understand how this communication is getting managed inside the view controller. Sorry, not the view controller, that is view model. And now inside the view model we are subscribing this location property of location manager. So subscription is done with the help of RxSwift, and whenever we are receiving the location object, with the help of home repository we are calling the fetch weather data from our network layer. For now, for the sake of understanding, I am not jumping into the implementation of the network layer, but this communication is basically going to home repository from the view model, and home repository calling this fetch weather data method from the network layer. And once you receive the data into home repository, then inside the home repository we are having the weather data property, and again we are using RxSwift for the data binding purpose, and we are observing the weather data inside our view model with the help of this subscription change. So whenever you receive the weather data in repository, your view model is getting informed in this particular block, in this particular subscription block, and we are setting this weather response in the form of this particular weather response model, and then we are calling the create data source method. So in the second part you can also subscribe to error also, because if you remember, we discussed in the MVI design pattern there are two parts. One is the success state of any screen, and second is the error state of any screen. So what we have done here is we have subscribed to these two states with the help of RxSwift. So we have created a data source when we receiving the weather response, and whenever we are receiving any error we are calling the failure block also. So I know things are getting little bit complex here, but once you will revise the flow of this particular application, then things will become very much clear to you. So now pay attention to this particular method only, that we are receiving the location. After receiving the location, we have subscribed this location into the view model, and once we receive the location we are calling the fetch weather data method in our repository, and once the repository is giving you the weather response, you are creating the data source. This is the flow inside the view model. And in the create data source we are doing nothing, we are just parsing whatever weather response we are having and converting it into the weather cell model, right? And once the weather cell model array has been received, we are calling the success block, and this success block is basically reloading the table view in my view controller. So this was the overall implementation of the view model. Now I am scrolling it once again from top to bottom so that you can implement it also. This is the get current location, and this is the create data source method. Okay, now we will jump into the home view repository class. So as we already discussed, that repository is basically having the two dependencies. One is the network manager and second is the database manager, and for now we are making only the network calls. So we are having here network manager only that we are using, and for now ignore the database. The two major things that you need to pay attention is weather data and the weather error. So these are the published subject. We are using RxSwift here. The reason is we are using the observer pattern with the help of RxSwift. So we have created a subscription chain into our view model, that whenever repository is getting the data into these two properties, then our view model is getting notified with the help of that subscription that we recently saw, right? So these are the published subject. Whenever they get received next element, then our view model will get the notification. This is the initializer of the home view repository where we are initializing it with the network manager. And fetch weather data is basically calling fetch weather data of the network manager. And whenever that fetch weather data method of the network manager giving you the response, then I am updating the publish subject weather data on the successful receiving of the data. And if any error is happening, I am updating the weather error object. So whenever this on next is getting called into these publish subject, then your view controller, sorry, not the view controller, your view model is getting notified here in this particular part, right? So whenever I am receiving the weather response or I am receiving the error, so these two blocks are getting fired into view model, and from here flow is jumping into the view controller. Now take a look to the home view repository. So the major responsibility of home view repository is to make the network calls and to receive the data and to notify view model. And there are two states of this particular data. One is success and one is failure. For both of these states, we have subscribed into view model. So this is the implementation of home view repository. Now we will jump into the home view coordinator. In the home view coordinator, we have following the coordinator protocol. So in the present method, the only thing you need to pay attention is the present method. In the present method, what we are doing is, with the help of our factory, that is home view factory, we are making the home view controller, and we are asking router to present this home view controller. As we have already discussed that actual navigation is always done with the help of the router. So this home view coordinator is basically presenting the home view controller with the help of this particular router. So this is the implementation of the home view coordinator. And now pay attention to the home view controller delegate. So if you remember, I told you that there is a next button on the home view controller screen. Whenever user is pressing it, with the help of coordinator, flow is reaching to the navigate to next screen. And with the help of this particular code, we are telling the next screen coordinator to perform that particular navigation with the help of router. So this is the code part that you can see quickly. On the line number 45, we are getting the navigation controller from the home view screen, and we are creating the navigation router with the help of this nav controller, and with the help of assembler, that is the shared class, we are creating the coordinator, that is basically having the two parameters, router and the assembler. And with the help of assembler, make next view coordinator, we are receiving the coordinator object. And with the help of present child method in our home view coordinator, we are asking the coordinator of next view screen to perform that particular navigation. So this was the navigate to next screen delegate implementation in our home view coordinator. So now you understand the home view controller implementation, how home view model is working, how coordinator is managing the next screen flow, and how repository is making the call to network layer. So implementation of that particular part is completed now. Now we will move to the next screen. And the next screen, the only important part you need to pay attention is the back button press. You remember there is a next screen on which we are having the next button. On clicking of that, you are moving back to the home screen. So again, in the next view controller, we have implemented next view controller delegate as the back button press. So normally if you see in any application that back button press can automatically happen from the top bar, but for the demonstration purpose, I have provided a back button press function here so that you can understand the implementation of coordinators. So as the home view controller is having the delegate as the home view coordinator, the next view controller is having the delegate as next view controller delegate. So whenever we are pressing the back button, this delegate is calling the back button pressed implementation. And again, if you jump into the next view coordinator, the back button press is basically calling the dismiss on the router. So this is the implementation of NextView coordinator. I will be scrolling the screens one by one so that you can see the code. This is the NextView controller delegate. This is the view model and the delegate property in the NextView controller. This is the back button pressed implementation. In the NextView model, we are having nothing because we are not making any network calls, neither any database calls. This is the NextView coordinator. And this is the NextView repository. So the major implementation of coordinators and the router completes here. And whatever remaining in this particular sample is only the supporting class. So for the understanding of MVVM C+A, we have done the navigation of complete code. Now only part remaining to understand is how app delegate router is starting the flow from the scene delegate. So inside the scene delegate, we are creating the app delegate router with the window as a parameter, and we are creating the singleton object of the dependency assembler and assigning network manager dependency with the object of network manager class. And now we are creating the home coordinator because home coordinator is the first coordinator that is responsible to start the application flow from the home screen. So in the assembler, we are having a factory method that is make home coordinator, that is taking the app delegate router as the starting router of our application, and as the singleton object of the dependency assembler, we are providing the factory to the home coordinator. And now we are calling the present method of the coordinator, and with the help of that we are starting the application flow. I hope till this particular point you are clear with the implementation of MVVM C+A architecture. I understand that this particular architecture is little bit more complex in comparison of the other architectures, and I also omitted description of few of the classes just to save some time. So if you are facing any problem, any confusion, any query, then feel free to drop me in the comment box. I will definitely try to resolve your problem. And if you are looking forward for the sample code, then just drop me an email on the email ID given at the bottom, that is venugopaltiwari@gmail.com. These are the some frequently asked interview questions regarding MVVM C+A architecture. And I hope you like this tutorial. In case if you are having any suggestion, any feedback, then don't hesitate to write us back. We will always try to improve according to your requirement. For latest update, follow our Facebook page, subscribe our channel and our wall. Stay motivated and keep learning with us. Thank you.